What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be breaking down a Lauv type instrumental. The reason why I want to do Lauv is because he's been a very big inspiration on my own production going forward and was an artist slash producer that I looked up to when I was refining my craft as a music producer. So I thought it's only right that I do one of his style beats on this channel so you can learn how to make a beat in his style. If you are new to this channel, the whole purpose of the videos is I'm going to be showing you a beat and breaking it down step by step how I made this beat from start to finish. In I hope that it gives you an understanding of how to build beats in certain styles up for yourself. All the beats on this channel are very simple as well, so this is all stuff that you can do for yourself, but mainly I really hope you just learn something from watching this video till the end. Just before we do get into the video guys, if you are someone who struggles to find that first initial idea when it comes to building up a beat or music production, I have just the sample pack bundle for you. My sample pack store, Samples by Dragorchi, is now doing a bundle sale where you can get every single one of the essential sample packs. The whole purpose of these sample packs is to be that first source of inspiration when building a new beat up, and this sample pack contains over 302 loops which you can use to get started on new sources of inspiration for your beats. And even better, because of the sale right now, it's $40 worth of samples for just $16. So after you've watched this video, and if that's something of interest to you, make sure you click the link below in the description afterwards and go check that out. But with that out of the way, let's not waste any more time. Let's break down this Lauv type beat. Okay, so how I like to build up production so I can lay this out for you on the channel is from top to bottom is the order that I have added every single idea. And today we added with a mallet synth. Mallet synths are very common in his style of music, especially the plucky synths. So I really wanted to start with something like that today. Very much inspired one of his latest songs, which I think is called Run Back to You, which is a collaboration with Lay. So I stacked these three different sounds together and then a fourth one for the chorus to add a little bit of development. Now let's have a quick listen just to them all together, and then we'll do a breakdown of how it's been made up. And as you can see, all of these are actually presets which you can find in Logic Pro X as well. So we've got the big dripper, the gamer's organ, the hammer, I think it's called the hammered wood, and the small time piano. All of these together create a sound. And this is one of the things I would really encourage you to do, especially if you're someone who thinks you're limited and don't have the right sounds. Sometimes if you're going for a certain sound, you just need to blend certain textures together. And I like to do that a lot, especially with Logic Pro X, because a lot of time I feel like a lot of sounds in Logic Pro X are close to the sound that's in your head that maybe you want this mallet to sound like, but you can't just get it straight away. So sometimes you've got to blend sounds together, and that's exactly what I've done here. Now, the next thing to do was to add the drums to really start getting a feel for this track. So the track here, the drums, it's very simple today. We are using the Contact, we're using the Urban Beats preset and the Urban Beats loops. I absolutely love this for this style of music, and it's a very simple drum beat, very simple drum machine, and I just laid down a simple beat. So this is the drum kit by itself. And with the mallets. Rule 1 of MIDI drums, make sure you always bus them like I've done here. That gives you so much better control over the panning and mixing of it. It's just, again, it's rule 1, it's standard stuff, but it's really good practice and a really good way to make your MIDI drums really have like that sort of place in the mix because you can mix them in properly. Next, we've added in the bass lines. Now, for the bass lines today, we are using 808s, and both are Alchemy presets that we have used, which are blended together to create this really nice sort of like throbby, kind of, you could associate it with kind of, I don't know, like R&B, I don't know, I can't think of the genre of it, but just have a listen because you know what I mean. Really sort of distorted and heavy. And this helps create a nice little bounce in the mix. Yeah, really cool. And I definitely think that using 808s is a really good way to add the bass line in because they're very subtle. They're not overpowering the mix, but you really feel them. And they've got that low end. Now, we get to the part of the production now where we just want to start experimenting and adding things in. So I started looking on Logic for certain instrumentation, which I could just have included in like the chorus, kind of more like a development kind of instrument, because throughout a production, you want to be mixing up, adding things, taking stuff away. So I put the Juno keys in just to be in the chorus, just to add something extra to the chorus so the listener can hear that. So this is the Juno keys that I found in Omnisphere, sorry. And again, just a stamp on the chords. Just to help kind of bring up that synthetic element, which is in a lot of Lauv songs and also in Charlie Puth songs as well. He uses a lot of Juno keys, so that's one of the reasons why we want to add that in there. Next, we have the connect chords. This is just a rhythmic pad because, again, trying to add some sort of development, trying to add things as we go to make it sound more interesting. And I just found this little rhythmic pad, which I just thought, hey, let's chuck that in. There doesn't always have to be a lot of thought process into it. Genuinely, I'd sometimes just chuck stuff in, see if it works. If it sounds like it improves the production, I keep it in. And it's just it's a subtle little detail, but I feel like it adds the production. It just flutters in the background. Now, the next thing I wanted to do now was add guitars in, because there's a lot of like muted guitars and modulated guitars in sort of like these style of songs. So we started first with the muted guitar. If you wonder what we're using for the guitar today, actually using the nylon string by Native Instruments, and we're using the muted setting. So it has this really nice, cool, plucky, again, like plucky sounds. And it sounds really cool. Check this out. Then I've layered that with some modulated guitar. And this is the electric vintage with a pedal board on, which just has a modulation effect, and then with reverb and a sample delay. And then we've laid that as well with just this as well. Something a little bit more arpeggiated. And that's all the guitars together. Now, when I was building the guitars up, I feel like I wanted to try and add something to, because these were going to be out to the side of the mix, hence why I got sample delays left and to the right on all these guitars, because the guitars were sitting at the side of the mix to allow room for everything else to come through. So I thought, hey, while I'm doing stuff at the side of the mix, I wanted to try and add some synthetic pads to try and build up the atmosphere. So I decided to add the analog circuits to try and blend them with the guitar, which is a pad in the retro synth. Really warm and has that real nice synth pop feel to it. So just have a listen to this. I'm going to take it out to see what it's adding. Again, it just adds that ambience and that sort of like atmosphere to a track, which is really fun. Now, there isn't really much else to add. Obviously, we've got our swooshes and our sweeps, as we like to call it, without the whole syllable things. But yeah, we've got all our sweeps in here and crashes just to add some sort of level of like transition between the verses and the choruses, like this. All of them have been sourced from Splice. Like you guys know, if you're a regular subscriber to this channel, you know I like to use Splice samples. And more to the point now, because for Splice coming in here, we've actually got a vocal chop, which I took a whole vocal recording from Splice and I've chopped it up to make the main hook of this song, because a lot of Lauv songs, they do have them chopped up vocals, and I really wanted to try and add that in. You might be wondering how to get that really cool sort of like distorted vocal effect. Well, I'm going to show you right now. So this is the vocal here, chopped up. And this is a slightly longer version of it so you can hear it. Yeah, so basically what's happening is I have done some slight tuning on this, just shifting up the octaves to get it into tune with the track. But when it comes to getting that distorted effect, the one thing I've done is add a reverb to try and put the vocal in the room. But then I've added this overdrive plugin it's a Logic Pro X plugin as well. Just really turning up the overdrive and decreasing the output so you get that distortion, but you don't get it overpowering in the mix and creating that clip distortion. So this is a really cool way to add distortion to track. You could run the vocals through an amp as well. I just find the overdrive a really cool way because it has this really nice saturation on the overdrive, does this Logic plugin. So that is literally everything together. So if I was to play it from the start of the verse, you can now get the best understanding of how this actually sounds all together. So yeah, let me know what you think. There you go, guys. That is how to make a Lauv type beat. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, make sure you smash the subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel. And don't forget, if you're looking for new sources of inspiration for your tracks, make sure you don't forget about the sample pack bundle, 302 sources of inspiration, 302 starting points for your next beat. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep making music, and I'll see you in the next video.